Welcome to this week's edition of It's Chaile Time. Chaile, it's good to see you.
It's good to see
You
you.
had some time off.
Meneer Nel, yes.
Eh? A long weekend.
Oh, just one day.
Just one day. So what you been up to? I saw your schedule's quite hectic, eh?
Yeah. Another diesel theft. But this time they were doing it so clever.
Yeah?
It's a diesel attendant now working with the driver of the truck. But they include the third person now. They send a guy to get empty canisters, or what do you call them? Those 20-liter bottles.
Yes, yeah.
So I think the driver of that company is using the company's account.
Ooh.
So they're holding on the tank. But when the tank is full, they will move the nozzle to the
truck.
To the bottles, to those 20 liters.
Oh, to the 20 Oh, when the tank is full, yes.
Yeah, when the tank is full, and then it will still say one
Yes.
bill, and then this is what they pay. But they got caught out now, and this guy was like,
Did somebody report them or what?
yes, it's also they were caught on camera, but somebody reported them. The third-party security company reported them, and they like,
Let me guess, I don't know what happened.
no. This the petrol attendant guy. It's like, but I've never been told that I mustn't put diesel in the 20-liter bottles. The driver told me to do this, and then I did that.
No, I agree. Schedule 87 of the Code of Good Practice, né? It seems there must be rules in place. So if the employer didn't have a rule that you can't steal the diesel, then you can't blame the poor employee. Isn't it? That's simple. There must be a rule that says after you fill the truck's tank, you can't now go and put diesel into your private containers.
But there is a rule there. No.
Where? Is there a rule that says you can't steal the diesel?
No, you can't put diesel on the 20-liter canisters.
That's a good employer.
That's the standard rule.
Yeah. I'm just sarcastic here. Obviously, you don't always have to have rules. Certain rules are what we call common law rules. Common law rules. God put it in your heart that thou shalt not steal.
Yes. So you cannot just, but you get people going all the way to the council and say,
yeah,
I stole, yes, but
I
was not supposed to be dismissed. It's very harsh. It's my first offense.
Listen to my case. I was at the CCMA yesterday, and this was an organizational rights dispute between one of our clients and the union, a big union in South Africa. But this union, they are only sufficiently represented. They've got about 39% representation in the workplace. But now what they want is a Section 14 organizational right. Now, Section 14 only is in terms of the law now, only majority unions, in other words, unions with 50+1% representation in the workplace can enjoy Section 14 rights, which is the appointment of shop stewards. Okay. So the company is just saying, no, we're not going to give it to you. And there are good reasons for that. I don't want to venture too much into the reasons for it. But now interesting is, I enjoyed this so much. Yesterday, the union official there opened Section 21, 8 capital C of the Labour Relations Act, which basically states that if a union do not meet the required threshold, then the commissioner can basically use his discretion whether he's going to assign the rights or not. But it very specifically starts off by saying, in relation to rights in section 12, 13 and 15, not 14. So this, you didn't feel still reading. Mr. Commissioner, here it says, in relation to clauses and rights of section 12, 13 and 14, and Commissioner said, no man, you must read right, it says 15. 12, 13 and 15. I'm just like, Mr. Commissioner, jurisdiction. It says here you can use your discretion on clauses 12, 13 and 15, not 14. That was some news. That was just some fun yesterday to see them. You see them going like this in the seats,
Yeah. starting to melt down.
But listen, before we get to the topic,
Yes.
what do you make of Chaile Brink Action SA and the coalition here in Tshwane?
I believe that he fell off the brink.
He fell off the brink.
I don't know. I think they were supposed to give him a chance. This thing, I think this thing of every 6-12 months a mayor is being changed, every 6 or 12 months, it's delaying the service delivery.
Yeah, I'm busy working on a webinar, and I want to talk about how to be more successful from an employer perspective in the workplace. But the key focus really on interest. And I think a lot of people don't understand that really. You are very mechanical in our relationships. Like for instance, simple things like the Basic Condition of Employment Act basically say, you can have, let's say, 21 consecutive days leave. So the employer will never give 22 because the law says 21. Okay? Or if the policy says you must start work at 8, you come here 8:05, you get a warning. Why? Because you're 5 minutes late. Because I'm entitled.
You must go.
So I'm not saying a company mustn't give you the warning. I'm highlighting the mechanical flavor we have to our relationships. And I saw this now here too, because interesting is, and obviously I don't really know what's going on because I see what I see in the media. Okay, so in the media I see Action SA complaining about basically Chaile Brink's competency, and he had some stats there in terms of how they're not performing well in the metro and whatever the case may be. And then some journalists, but now the DA was now hitting back and saying, but no, this is really because, Action SA didn't perform well in the general election and Tshwane is doing well now, and there's no glory basically for Action SA in this whole mix of things, So some journalists then had an interview with somebody at Action SA and said, but listen, isn't there truth in this that, you're only doing this because, you want to put your mayor forward and you want to have the power? And he said, yeah, and what's wrong with that? So I'm like, what happened to the stats now of incompetence? But that's not me talking. Now, I don't know if he really said that, but that's what's written in the media. But now, this is the thing. Even from and that's in all relationships, whether it's a marriage, whether it's in sports, politics, and even in the workplace. People want things. So I was thinking then, I believe in Tshwane, Action SA have like 8% vote. Hey, we're talking politics here now. 8% votes in the DA and the ANC, both somewhere in the 30s, okay? But then I'm thinking, regardless of your representation from the voters,
yes,
the fact of the matter is, around that table, we are all humans with the same feelings,
yes,
with the same kind of interest in life. We all want to get ahead. We all want our parties to succeed. We all want the voters to see it was us. And we need to understand that if you want to go in a coalition partner, he wants something. And most of the time, it's got nothing to do with service delivery. It's got to do with me not getting the glory.
Power.
It's about power.
It's about power. It's a power game.
It's my opinion that the first basic needs of humans are not food and shelter, it's power.
It's power.
Isn't it?
Once you get power, then you know that you're in charge of other things. And
yeah, so maybe if employers and employees understand better that in that relationship at the workplace, both want power, both have their own interest, both want to get ahead. So maybe strictly managing to the rules is not always the right way to do, but that's for something else. Yes, I can do a whole charlatán on politics. What are we talking about today? What are we really talking about today?
Jacob Zuma's friend. This man loves Jacob Zuma.
I love, you know what? I love South Africa. In all respect and love, now when I see what's going on in the news in the Mid-East and Russia.
Then you still say South Africa is the nicest place to live in. Ne?
I will, South Africans, we hate each other. But I'll rather fight South Africans. Really. Because we're never serious.
Yeah, we don't throw bombs around.
We don't do that stuff. We will tell you I hate you and whatever, but we'll still braai together afterwards.
Yeah,
South Africa is a nice country.
That's true.
No, I prefer South Africa.
Okay, let's stick to
Let's talk about what you talking about. Oh, sorry. Before I say that, Celia, I saw a Jacaranda interview with Celia Brink.
Yes. Yes.
And he said something that's just for me so true now. Martin Bester asked him, so is there a chance of you being voted again as the mayor? And he said, there's a small chance. But you know what? We're a country that always wins with 1 point. He's obviously referring to the Springboks now. We always play with 1 point, but you know what? We win. So I prefer South Africa. We win with 1 point, but we win. What are we talking about?
As an employer, can you book the second hearing for the same offense?
You've done a hearing for an employee on certain misconduct, and maybe the result wasn't the way the CEO wants it to be, and now you want to do another hearing until you get what you want. Is that what you say?
This person is troublesome. We don't want this person here, you know.
But the chairperson say final warning.
But the chairperson says final warning.
This is a contentious issue. It's a contentious issue, Chairper, because if you come back to this power dynamic in the workplace, let's call it capital versus labor, there's an inherent conflict of interest in this power mix, if you want to call it that way. And from an employer perspective, they must be fired now. Isn't it? They came late with 2 minutes.
Yeah, this person must go.
This person must go. You see, that's the employer interest. But now the chairperson. Chairperson, I was prepared yesterday. I'm doing a hearing. The first time we're doing a hearing for this company, I'm doing a hearing on Monday. And I was warned by the HR director that the CEO is the initiator and it's difficult.
But difficult to who now?
She's saying it's going to be difficult to me, so I'm telling her, listen, how difficult can this really be? I'm here to guide the process and to listen.
I'm confused also. Now, how can it be difficult to you if you are just there to sit in, listen?
Employee must go! That's what it is, Tepo.
What happened to give me an opportunity to apply my mind?
Yeah, that's what I told her now. I'm there to follow a process, to guide in the process and to listen. But where the actual issue will come in is with the CEO is not happy with my findings. That's probably going to be the issue.
I'm going to throw a Toby there and make sure that they don't moor each other. You see?
Anyway, but yeah, it's a good topic. It's a big question for HR people and for businesses out there. Can you do a second hearing?
I think you can. Yes, you can. But you need to be certain on factual aspects. And then maybe if there's new evidence that was not maybe submitted prior.
That's the important one, the new evidence.
New evidence that was not submitted prior. And not only looking at the goal of the person must go. Because if that it's going to be an influence, then it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
We're looking at the risk of sitting with double jeopardy here.
Yeah.
You can't punish someone twice.
For the same offense.
So.
Yeah, you're mentioning some interesting facts there. 2 or 3 things you mentioned. Double jeopardy.
Yeah.
You mentioned new evidence and this whole thing about having a bit of a personal vendetta against that person. So we joked about this now. The person must go. But it's quite real. Sometimes you will find, let's not just say a CEO is hell-bent on dismissing somebody. So you put the person in the hearing and it came out that the person maybe gets a final warning. Now the CEO is not happy. Okay. So obviously what one must be careful of is try to do re-hearings to the degree until you find the outcome that you as a CEO wants.
Until your wife comes and chairs the hearing.
Until your wife eventually comes and chair the hearing, and even if that doesn't work, you start chairing the hearing as a CEO yourself, making sure this person is getting dismissed. So there's the audio alterum partem rule, where you give somebody a fair opportunity to be heard. So that's always important. So give the person opportunity to be heard. It's a fair process.
Fair process.
So I typically will advise people, don't go there, because there was already a fair process. And one thing I've seen, Tsepo, is that when companies start losing cases is when this thing is becoming personal. And I had a very wise HR director in corporate when I was still working in corporate, and we had an issue with the manager, and we had all these charges. And you know what he told me? No, man, you are so emotionally involved in getting rid of this person. Pick one charge, the one you're going to win. Only focus on that one.
You don't have to
You don't have to have this war.
32 charges and then...
Because then you start making mistakes.
Yeah, you contradict yourself. I've seen that in arbitration, whereby the commissioner will be like, okay, let's start here, because, there's like a lot of charges here. Which one was the person found guilty on, and which one? You understand how you need to unpack and separate this and this and this. And the commissioner could see that some of this was just additional things that there was no need for them to hear.
Yeah, and then you mentioned the two things, new evidence and double jeopardy.
Yes.
You cannot do double jeopardy. So if somebody was charged for late coming, you got a final warning, you can't now put him in the hearing if you're unhappy and dismiss him for late coming for the same thing, you see. But if it is fair to do so, and there are new evidence, then by all means you can. Because strictly speaking, the Code of Good Practice, Schedule 8, subsection 4 of the Code of Good Practice, does not regulate how many hearings you must do. Okay?
I think now this relates to what I'm going to present just now.
Okay.
Let me just read.
I can take over. You see, these things are...
Let me just read and then we'll unpack it proper after. Okay? In a recent labor court case of OK SA Municipality Workers Union, OK, it's not the furniture store, it's OKAY, SA Municipality Workers Union, on behalf of Malati versus Local Government Bargaining Council and others. That's a 2023 case.
Oh, that's recent.
Yes.
Oh, very recent, yeah.
Now, the employee was charged with accessing the municipal bank account with his computer.
Sure. Okay,
Yeah. So now he was found guilty in a hearing and he was dismissed. But in arbitration, it was found that he stated that it was a common thing to do in their office for someone to access somebody's computer. I don't know how they get password or they did whatever.
They probably share the password or something.
Yeah, but he said it was a common thing. Okay. And the company could not prove that it was specifically him who tried to...
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
Yeah, he would try to defraud the municipality. Then it was found that the dismissal was unfair and he was reinstated.
Oh, he was reinstated?
Yes,
okay,
he was. But as soon as he was reinstated, upon him being reinstated, he was charged again. Now for sharing his computer's password with others.
Oh, that's a bit of a difference.
That's a different now.
That's a different thing, yeah.
And that one went to the labor court.
Okay.
And then now in the labor court, that's when now they applied their mind in seeing that was this a double jeopardy or not. And it was found that no, it was not double jeopardy. Actually, this person, and the evidence that was presented now on the second time around, it was found that it is, he violated the rule of sharing his password. That's how now the municipality.
Okay, so in the first instance,
yes,
he was charged for being dishonest, for accessing the municipality's account via his laptop, I suppose.
Yes.
But now he's saying in arbitration, the employer couldn't prove that it was actually him because they, I suppose,
yes,
other people will also access the computers and there's a password sharing thing happening there, I suppose.
Yes.
But now the second time around, you say now he was charged for sharing his password.
For sharing his password.
Okay, so now the question is whether this is double jeopardy or not, and you're saying it is not.
I'm saying it is not.
Well, I agree with you because at the end of the day, it's two different sets of evidence.
Yes.
It's two different arguments, different charges. The one focused on him trying to steal the money from the employer's account, and secondly, it was now him sharing his password. It's not the same thing. It's a good point, yeah.
Yes. So now, I guess the moral of the story here is that you can have that
Second
hearing, but you need to get all your ducks in a row.
Yes.
Don't try to take chances because someone is pushing and saying, I don't want this person here anymore. You see, now in this case, it is clear and evident that on the second instance, now different evidence was led and then dismissal was upheld on this one.
But what do you do, Tsepo? How do you feel when an employer says, we must have another hearing?
I don't know how to tell you how I feel, but because they are our clients, I respect them, I guide them. That remember, when I'm in a hearing, I don't make a decision, I make a recommendation.
Yeah, that helps. Also, look, I will typically tell my companies also, try to stay away from that. Because you must remember, at the end of the day, a commissioner's got wide discretionary powers how to deal with the case, and they don't have to make right decisions. They have to make reasonable decisions. And one commissioner on the day may accept it, the other one not, and it's not about who's right and wrong. So in this band of reasonableness, there's this abyss. And once you're in this abyss, you don't know where it's going to go to. So it's advisable to be very careful before you do the re-hearing. But then the court asked by basically giving us guidance. If it's based on new evidence, okay, then yes. And if it is fair to do so. Keeping in mind, there's nothing in the law in terms of the Code of Good Practice that regulates how many hearings you must do for the same offense, you see. But I suppose the underlying issue is fairness. Is it really fair to do so? But as you said earlier on, you shouldn't do it if it is you want to settle a personal score or this vendetta from, he must go. Only if there's new evidence or so.
Yeah, no. That's it for today from my side.
Yeah, so we can do hearings, but you must be very, very careful.
100%.
But anyway, so what you up to today, the rest of the day?
Arbitration at 12.
Arbitration at 12?
Yes.
Where?
Benoni.
Oh.
For Fuji.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's all for this week. Chaile, see you next week again.
Thank you.
Don't forget to
like and subscribe.
The thumbs and subscribe. Bye-bye.